3 months ago, Deion Sanders accepted the head coaching job over at the University of Colorado. And a great disdain came towards many of the intellectuals in Black America. And one of them came from one of the esteemed leaders of Black America, or influencers, Dr. Claude Anderson. Not only him, but Boyce Watkins. And Deion Sanders was obliterated amongst a lot of pro-Blacks in the Black community for leaving Jackson State for the University of Colorado. For those of you who do not remember what was said there, I want to play a clip of what Dr. Claude Anderson had to say about Deion Sanders and Blacks who think like him.
I'd like to get your thoughts on that because I was kind of mixed too. On one hand, there was a lot of money there for this job, but on the other hand, I saw him really building a very powerful legacy that was going to be to the economic benefit of not just him, but also to the university, to the city of Jackson, and to HBCUs as a whole. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, in the context and under the context of powernomics, what one should ask oneself is, how did Black folk benefit from that? How did they benefit from leaving a Black school, going to a white school, or getting more money, or getting more visibility? What did that, at the bottom line, if I were to pour everything through a net and dry it out, what do you get? What's left over? What have Black folk got to show for that whole charade of going from being on a Black team to switching to a white teams? So when you graduate, you can get more money and you can get a little more visibility. I don't understand, because I can't see integration is a degraded situation for Black folk. Why would you get your jollies or your kicks off of being off a white school besides just money? See, if you're fighting for your lives, if you knew your race right now, which they should know, your race holds a world's record, WORLDB world record for the longest enslaved people on earth. Why would you get your kicks off of going with a white school just to get more money and more publicity? Why aren't you concentrating on the fact that after 465 years, you own and control absolutely nothing? You own, and you're up now to be eliminated and exterminated from this earth. What did you get out of it? Why would you side with somebody who's in opposition to you? You know they're using you, and you didn't see the Jews running out of the box up there, broadcast box, saying we're gonna put our Jewish athletes in there so they can get more money. They didn't want that kind of money. They wanted to be able to own and control the teams. Where are all the Black teams that Black folk got from all that? Where's all the money they got from it? If they did that starting in the 1940s, and now here we are almost getting close to 100 years, what have they got to show after 40 years of being a show for white folk? Tell me that. I want to understand. I'm at a loss. I don't know. What did you get for being showing? When you don't have any community, you don't have any businesses, you don't have any wealth, you don't have any power, you don't have any unity, you don't have any culture. Your culture has been raped and robbed and stolen, given to everybody. Now you're an artifact.
So now, that's what Dr. Claude Anderson said. And I love Dr. Claude Anderson. I have not had a chance to read his book, Powernomics, although I will the next 1 month. But he's saying something that's real. Blacks ultimately need to stick together. But now, what about when there are problems in these Black streets? And Deion Sanders had openly talked about the fact that Jackson State has a lot of problems. From the athletic director to the administration, a lot of problems. He's tried to work it out, but they had a lot of problems. And now it's evident what kind of problems that they had. Because now the Board of Trustees of Higher Learning has placed Thomas Hudson, president of Jackson State University, on administrative leave with pay, effective immediately. Dr. Elaine Hayes Anthony will be acting as temporary acting president. Okay. Now, Hudson received a no confidence vote in January after the committee determined Hudson and his leadership have exhibited a continuous pattern of failing to respect shared governance, transparency, accountability, and have worked outside of professional norms that have broad implications for the campus climate, the reputation of Jackson State University, the university's commitment both to providing a high-quality education and to carrying out its mission of a commitment to excellence. This is what Jackson State said about its president, a vote of no confidence. But now you want somebody like Deion Sanders, who is a very talented coach, an NFL Hall of Famer, to put up with something that you don't want to put up with. And see, that's the hypocrisy in Black America. And I'm here to hold, these are my favorite topics because, I get on the women here and some of the pookies and rich, but this is my favorite stuff because Black people expect you to deal with something that they're not going to put up with. Why don't you have competent leadership? And it can't just be Thomas Hudson because this is like Jackson State's 6th or 7th president in the last 14 years, which means that time after time after time after time, nobody can deal with in Jackson, Mississippi at Jackson State. That's what it means for our community. We cannot be dealt with. That's what that means. Are all the leadership bad? Because sometimes you can have a good president and terrible administration, but y'all don't want to deal with that. Y'all don't want to deal with that. And that is a problem. That's an issue. But why I got all the smoke for Deion Sanders when you won't even get somebody good enough so that Deion Sanders can stay? Because Black people feel like we need to sit there and struggle with incompetent people. We need to be around people who don't know what they're doing. And as soon as we say we don't want to deal with nobody who don't know what they're doing, we the problems. We the problems. How dare you not deal around people who are idiots? And the world is saying no. I'm not going to waste my life and my time and my energy amongst people who are not competent. And the question is, can you blame them? Hell no, you can't blame them. No, nobody wants to be around an idiot or a group of idiots or incompetents nowhere in the world. I don't care if you're white, Black, orange, whatever. You don't know what you're doing. You can't be here, bruh. I'm going around some people who know what they're doing. I don't care if you get mad. I don't care if you're angry or not. It's not my problem. But don't ask me to do something that you want while you're not even over there. Now, in the case of Dr. Claude Anderson, he's been in the Black community for a long time. I get what he's saying. But no, listen, that's not, see, Jackson State and y'all who wanted him to deal with that, the president had no vision. If the president don't have no vision and the football coach got a better vision than the president, that's a problem. That's a problem. And y'all don't want to deal with that. And y'all need to deal with that where it's at. Stop the lying. Black people don't owe you nothing when you're not performing. Black people don't owe it to you to be dealing with you when you're not giving no good service, when you don't want to do the right thing. Why do Black folks always got to deal with buffoonery all the time? With somebody who don't know what they're doing. All the time in Black America, we got to deal with that. It's impossible. It's crazy. And of course, it is insane. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.